Hello, what is up guys? Eman from Peso Smart PH here. Welcome sa panibagong episode. Shout out all the podcast listeners as well. I appreciate you all. Today, let's talk about the PSEi or yung Philippine Stock Exchange Index along with yung number 1 company dito sa index fund na ito. So, let's get started. Currently, yung PSEi is nasa 6,238.81. That was the close for today. If we take a look at the daily chart. So, kita nyo naman dito for the year of 2022, it is on a bearish trend. If we take a look at the price range, so let's see, andito yung top 4 this year. We're currently down 17%. So according sa mga analysts and experts, we're officially in a bear market if nasa 20-ish% na in decline. And kung titingnan natin yung bottom dito, we actually hit almost the 20% mark of decline. So kung susundin natin yung 20% na yun, like officially we're not really in a bear market but we are heading there, kind of. Unless ma-sustain itong bounce na to. But it's kinda hard to be bullish right now because yung market outlook talaga. Like for example, sa US stocks, sa US ETFs, sa cryptocurrencies, sa mga real estate, it's kind of bearish. And yung Fed nga, yung kumbaga nagdi-dictate ng mga trend na to. And super hawkish pa rin yung US Fed when it comes to the interest rate. And same thing naman din with the BSP. They are raising interest rates kasi tumataas yung inflation. And may nabasa ako ng article, I think sa Business World yon, na parang around 4.6% yung kanilang prediction sa inflation. I think end of year yun, but let's double check. But right now, we're sitting at 5.4%. So, ang goal nila dito is pababain pa and hindi na like actually tumaas palalo. Kasi yung US inflation is at 8.6 and in my opinion, we're heading there. Meron lang konting delay with us kasi we're a third world country, we're a developing country, so that's why hindi natin nararanasan agad itong effect nito. But yeah, that is just my view and of course my opinion. And if we take a look at the market now, it's not really that bad. Lalo na kapag na-experience itong downfall na to nung nag-start yung pandemic. Like imagine, nag 4K lang yung PSEi. So from that low 2 years ago, up pa rin tayo ng 53%. So, diba, nung nandito tayo sa phase na to ng market, a lot of people were saying na, hindi, bababa pa yan, like, hindi tayo mag-rally agad, but eventually, diba, since nag-inject nga ng pera sa economy, especially in US, no, trillions of dollars yung na-inject sa economy. And that's why binabawi nga nila yun ngayon. Kaya taas ng inflation and kaya sobrang nade-devalue yung USD. And of course, all of the other fiat currencies in the world. Anyway, enough of that. If gusto nyong mapakinggan or mapanood yung video or yung episode na ginawa ko about inflation rate and yung relation with the reserve currency of the world na, which is USD and other currencies in the world, check out yun lang yung previous episode natin. So, our focus here is yung SM. And before we go there, ito yung sinasabi ko sa inyong article, PSEi to rise on bargain hunting, window dressing. So, ang tingnan natin dito is yung BPS, no? So, yan. Nagtaas sila ng interest rate by 25 basis points. So, sabihin 0.25%. And then the BSP raised its average inflation forecast for this year to 5% na pala. And 4.6% nga yung previous forecast sila. Ito kasi by the end of the year. So it's really good if makontrol ng BSP yung inflation. Kasi ito yung counterpart ng Fed, no, sa US. So same sila ng function. Siyempre, ang kaibahan lang yung Fed ng US is na influence yung buong economy ng buong mundo. So, bali, global markets and global economy, hinaapektuhan nila. And of course, yung sa BSP, yung reach lang nila is here sa Philippines. So if mo-control yung inflation to like 5% by the end of the year, then I think that's good. But 5% is still high. And di ba, if i-take into account natin yung goal ng US Fed, around 2% yung goal nila in the next 2 years. And probably yun din yung around that number din maglalaro yung inflation natin in the next 2 years. And if that happens nga, then magkakaroon tayo ng, makita natin yung rally na inaantay natin for the longest time. And again, that is on 2024 pa. So, with the market hoping for a 50 BP increase from the BSP as inflation risks amount, the local currency dropped to its lowest in nearly 17 years on Friday. So, yeah, nag 54.985 na yung US dollar against our currency. So, that is really weak, diba? And around 55 pesos nga siya noong 2005. So, ito lang naman. Link ko na lang itong article sa baba para mabasa nyo ng buo. Index summary naman tayo for today. This is as of June 27. So, kanina nag-close yung market. Yung PSEi nag-close nga, as I mentioned earlier, at 6,238.82. So, up yan ng 0.34%. Di ganun kalaki, no? So, up siya ng 21.26 points. And yung all shares, up naman ng 0.44%. Nasa 3,352.47 na siya. Yung change niyan is 14.84 points. So, yung bumaba lang is financials, mining and oil, along with property. Then the rest, yung industrial, holding firms, and services, up sila lahat. So, yan yung nag-cause nung, kumbaga, pag-akyat din ng konti ng PSEi. And of course, the broader shares, yung all shares. And now we're here sa First Metro Philippine Equity. So, sila yung isa nag-carry ng ETF. And ito, mini-mirror ng ETF na to is yung PSEi. And isa sa may pinamalaking weight dito is yung SM Investments Corporation. Nasa 13.87% yung weight niya sa PSEi. And then sa FM ETF, which is yung First Metro ETF, which is yung nag-mirror nga sa PSEi, nasa 13.98%. Let's take a look at this stock. So SM yung kanyang stock code. And currently, medyo bearish din siya. So, since 2020 pa, no? Hindi naman sobrang bumababa yung prices niya, but dito, nag-local top at around 1,100. And then another one here at 1,095. Then after that, may wick pa rin dito ng 1,095, but hindi na siya sobrang umakyat ulit. Yung mga local tops pa rin tayong na kukuha every now and then. But hindi na niya na-hit ulit yung previous high na to nung 2020. So, ibig sabihin lang, bearish siya since 2020. Which is kind of weird. Sobrang aga niyang naging bearish for some reason. And right now nga, nasa 799.50 na lang siya. The 52-week low was achieved like last week lang. I can't, for some reason, hindi ko makakuha yung week na yun. But yeah, probably the past 2 weeks lang. So, 738 pesos yung lowest in the past year. And we can go back to like April 27. Kaka-start pa lang ng pandemic, no? And we are at those levels. Actually, hindi nga, March pa. Kung 738, yeah, we could go way back in March. And yun yung kaka-start pa lang ng pandemic. And yung lowest nung mismong araw na sobrang duguan ng lahat ng markets. March 19, 2020. Never ko itong malilimutan. Ito yung time na nag-deploy ako ng malaking capital. And sobrang takot din ako, no? Kasi I was thinking na maka-recover pa kayong market. But, you know, I just believed dun sa fundamentals ng mga binibili kong stocks. Kasi mga dividend-paying stocks din naman. And based dun sa kanilang forecast. And dun sa historical financial data nila na kumikita naman sila. And then, wala pa actually yung data nito ng first quarter ng 2020. So, medyo nakakatakot talagang bumili at that time. But, you know, I just trusted my gut. And feeling ko na talaga noon na, you know, I'm just gonna buy those stocks na consistent nagbibigay ng dividends for the past decade, for the past 5 years, 8 years, 15 years, di ba? Na hindi nagmi-miss ng dividend payment every year. So I bought those and then eventually nga noong 2021, almost all of them nag-double na or more than nag-double na in value. And of course, nagbibigay pa rin sila ng consistent na dividends, which is always a plus. And ito nga, $7.99 na yung current price. So nakakakit na rin siya ng konti kahit papano. But yung 52-week high niya, malayo pa, no? 1,041. So that was last year. Kailan pa yung nakuha? So here, around this time, October. So ito yung time na medyo bullish pa rin talaga, no? Or nag-run yung crypto and yung mga stocks sa US. So same thing din yung nangyari dito sa SM. And yung tanong kasi dito is, kamusta ba ang kanilang financials? Pretty sure they're making money. So this is for the year of 2021. And retained earnings sila currently, so this is in thousands, mag-a-add tayo ng 3 zeros. Around 345, ilan to? Million. So 345 billion. Damn! That is a lot of money para sa retained earnings. But this is a very big company. So I think that's okay-ish. But hindi kasi ganun kalaki din yung binibigay nilang dividends. That's why hindi masyado nababawasan yung kanilang retained earnings. Although, nagbibigay naman sila ng dividends. And kita nyo naman dito kung gaano kalaki, no? Yung company na to. So, 428 billion pesos yung kanilang gross revenue for the whole year. Ang laki din ng expenses sila, 351 billion. So, pumapatak yung kanilang income, net income after taxes, 52.7 billion pesos. So, that is a big jump from their income noong 2020, which was around 34.3 billion pesos. And from 19.42 pesos na earnings per share, naging 31.96. Now, let's take a look at the data ng first quarter ng 2022. So, this is for this year. And again, same thing, mag-add tayo ng 3 zeros kasi the figures here in thousands to. Retained earnings sila, nagdagan syempre kasi kumita sila, 357.9 billion pesos. And yung income, doon na tayo sa net income, 16.7 billion for the first quarter of this year. Lumaki pa rin yan in comparison to the first quarter of last year, which was around 13.4 billion pesos. So that's pretty good. So medyo weird, no, yung naging price action, in my opinion, ng stock na to. Kasi they're making more money. And nakita naman natin yung recovery from 2020 to 2021. So, in my opinion, the price action doesn't make any sense. Unless, hindi ko pa kasi nababasa yung annual report nila. So, kumbaga, medyo speculative opinion lang to. Or speculative statement lang to from me. And I'm just basing this sa kanilang financial report. And, for me, yung kumbaga parang deal breaker lang dito talaga is yung kanilang dividends. So for this year, if you compute it, sa 799 na entry price dito sa kanilang stock ng SM, and of course ninyo na makukuha itong dividend sa 6.25, no? Kasi nung May pa to binigay. And reminder na dapat a day before the X dividend date or X date, dapat nakabili na kayo ng stock or hinuhold nyo na yung stock para mabayaran kayo for that period. And itong 6.25 na to compute natin against 799 na entry price. Ang dividend yield nun is less than 1%. So, 0.78. Sabi natin 0.79% for this year. And I'm pretty sure na once a year lang sila nagbibigay ng dividends. Let's double check that. So, yep, we are correct. Once a year lang sila nagbibigay ng dividends. Although, noong 2016 and 2013, nagbigay sila ng stock dividends, which is good. And nagbigay din sila ng additional na cash dividends on those years. Although, kita nyo, diba, medyo nagka-fluctuate yung binibigay nilang dividends. So, from 10, 10, 10, 11, 10, bumaba ng 2017, 7, 8, 9, naging 4.25 noong 2020, which makes sense kasi may pandemic noon. Then, same thing lang ng 2021. naging 4.25 lang. And then, since no 2021, maganda nga yung kitaan nila and malaki yung in-increase ng kanilang net income. Nag-increase sila ng binigay for 2022, 6.25 pesos per share. Although, again, 0.78% lang yung dividend yield ng stock na to. And hindi naman talaga yun yung main reason kung bakit mo bibilin yung SM, di ba? Kasi this is a growth stock. So, yung main focus sila is to like, grow the company like rapidly. So, instead of sharing their income sa kanilang mga stockholders, sa kanilang mga shareholders, like they're investing it dun sa company. And investments corporation nga ito. So, I think self-explanatory na naman kung anong ginagawa nila. Since growth stock nga itong SM Investments Corporation, ano pa ba yung kayang kunin or kayang achieve na price ng SM? Yung all-time high niya is nandito. It was back in 2018 ng bull run. Around 1,142. So, yung mga local tops dito noong 2019 and then noong 2020 and 2021, medyo close na rin doon sa all-time high. So, now, let's take a look at the price range. So, sabihin natin dito sa all-time high. From the all-time high, it's currently down 29%. So, hindi naman ganun kalaki. In comparison, like, for example, sa crypto or like other stocks out there. For example, Netflix, diba? Grabe yung pagbaba ng Netflix. And then yung local top dito, it's currently down 27%. And if we go down dun sa pinaka bottom, 32%. So not really that bad if you bought here. But of course, if bibili ka naman ganitong stock, like dapat consistent ka rin nabili. So PSEi lang, peso cost averaging. So kung nakabili ka dito, nabili ka rin dapat dito sa area na to, and especially dito sa area na to. Kasi we don't know if babalik pa ba tayo dito sa area na to, kung magkakaroon tayo ng magandang run ulit pataas. Kung magkakaroon ng magandang momentum. And of course, napakaganda kung nakabili ka sa area na to. Around 500 plus lang, no? Yung SM nung nag-start yung pandemic, and nadoble mo na yung pera mo if you sold here. But if you wanna hold this long term, I think okay din naman. Kasi when you take a look, no? Like, if you just waited a decade, 10 years, I know na gusto natin, financial freedom na agad, blah, 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 but that's kind of unrealistic naman talaga when it comes to investing. Unless you gamble a lot and you have a lot of money to lose, then that's probably possible if you get lucky. But for some of us, we just have to be patient and just continuously invest our money and consistently invest our money in good companies. So let's say, dito ka nag-start and nag-atay ka lang, di ba? May natin lump sum na yung in-invest mo. So may natin 1M, no? So kung nag-antay ka ng around 10 years, so January, 2019. So dito, huwag na tayo pumunta doon sa pinamataas, dito na lang. So up ka ng 854%. So that's 9.5x of yung 1 million mo naging 9.5 million in 10 years. Like, san mangyayari? And SM is a relatively safe investment. This is one of the biggest company in the Philippines and in Southeast Asia. So, you can really, in my opinion, you can't really go wrong. Kasi ang laki din nung chunk nito, no? Ang laki ng weight nito sa PSEi. So, if SM Investments Corporation kinda tanks, then the whole market will tank, essentially. Kasi ang laki ng weight niya doon sa PSEi. And kita nyo naman yung trend, di ba? In time, the prices of this company, of this stock, just goes up. Yes, it's gonna be a bumpy road kasi lahat naman ganyan eh. So, for example, dito ka bumili, di ba? Mas maaga ka pang bumili. So, nag-down ka na ng 59%. So, dito ka bumili ng lump sum, di ba? If you just waited couple more years, then you're gonna be up 175% in just ilan ba to? 6 years. Diba? So, yung unang ilang taon ba to? Yung unang taon mo, sa market is not really that good. But of course, if lump sum lang to. That's why hindi rin ako big fan nun. Although, sometimes, if na-timingan mo talaga ng tama yung bottom, yung lump sum na investment it works well. But, like, peso cost averaging, you can't go wrong with it, you know. And yun nga kasi yung kailangan natin ma-develop. Parang muscle memory din. O if nagba-basketball kayo, or if you're into sports, or if you're into music. Sobrang halaga ng muscle memory. Kasi, kahit kailan, for example ako, kahit kailan kaya kong tumugtog ng gitara. Like, kahit sobrang tagal ko hindi nag-play or nagpa-practice, I can still play the guitar. Kasi yun yung muscle memory, di ba? So, parang pwede mong i-apply yung principle na yun sa investing. Or like saving din, di ba? So, instead of gastusin mo na agad yung sweldo mo, or like mag-splurge ka sa isang gadget, or kumain ka palagi sa labas, instead of doing that, you can invest your money. You can save your money and then invest it. And then kapag na-develop mo na yung habit na yun, then it's really hard to stop. Like for me, for example, like there were months last year, especially nung nag-boom yung crypto, nag-boom yung Axie, yung mga P2E games, I saw the money coming in and I just reinvested everything. Kasi yun yung parang habit ko eh. But of course, kumbaga medyo nag-inflate din yung mga expenses ko, because I'm seeing money coming in, although I'm not really taking any profits. But kumbaga parang feeling lang no na okay, ang daming kong extra income na pumapasok, so I can spend more of my active income from my work. And after like a couple of months, na-realize ko na, hey, this is not right. This is not what I'm used to, and I have to stop. So after that, I just reassessed and naggawa ulit ako ng strict budget for like everything. Okay, off topic na ulit tayo. Anyway, so kung nagpe-peso cost average lang kayo from 2007 up until here, then kahit dito kayo sa top nagbenta, no? And then syempre may short-term movement ulit na bumagsak yung market, di ba? Down siya ng 36%. It won't really matter in a couple of years kasi nag-top ulit siya dito ng around 77%. So, I hope na you're seeing what I'm illustrating here. Kapag mahaba yung time horizon nyo, and if you're just patient enough, and if you pick the right stock and fundamentally sound yung investment, well, yung stock na pinag-invest nyo, then you don't really have to worry. Again, yung dividends is a bonus if malaking dividends sa binibigay ng stock na binili nyo. But if ganito mga growth stock nga, like kumbaga mas malaki din yung upside, no, nung pagtaas ng kanilang stock prices. And eventually, kapag ka naman, like for example, nag-mature na yung company and then they just want to distribute the income to their stockholders, then mag-benefit ka pa rin doon. Like for example, dagdagan nila doblehin nila, no, or sabihin natin twice a year na silang bibigyan ng dividends, and you will benefit from that. And hindi lang naman SM no, yung choice nyo, kasi maraming blue chip companies sa Philippines na nagbibigay ng magandang dividends like 4%, 5%, 6% or even more. Depende na lang din sa cost basis nyo, sa entry price nyo. Doon magbabase yung inyong dividend yield. And of course, kailangan yung kaltasan ng 10% yung yield na yun. Kasi yun yung actual, yung net. Kasi nagkakaltas nga or nagbabayad tayo ng tax na 10% sa mga dividend income natin dito sa Philippines. And again, that's good, di ba? Kasi yung traditional active income natin, like, depende kung gaano kalaking income mo. Around 21K or 22K, no, yung sweldo mo para mataksan ka. If below that, then hindi ka nagbabayad ng income tax. But as your income increases, yung active income mo, yung sinasweldo mo, then mas malaki yung babayaran mong tax. And dito sa dividends, ang kagandahan, kahit pa 1,000 pesos lang yung dividend income mo for the year, ang magiging net mo is 900 pesos. And for example naman, kung medyo malaki na yung portfolio mo, 1 million na yung dividend income for the year, ang net mo doon is 900K. So, hindi nagbabago yung tax rate. Okay? So, yun yung kagandahan ng dividend income. Alright. So, summary. Para sa akin ba, will I add some SM Investments Corporation sa aking portfolio? Magdadagdag ba ako ng position dito? Para sa akin, no. So I would rather buy dividend paying stocks, high yielding dividend paying stocks instead of this company. Although yes, fundamentally sound ito and consistent silang kumikita every single year. Para sa akin, mas okay na yung bibilin kong stock is nagbibigay pa sa akin ng mas malaking capital, no, every single year para mas makabili pa ako ng mas maraming stocks nila. Ito, yes, nagbibigay silang dividends but hindi ganun kalaki, di ba? Isipin nyo, 0.78%. So, pabawasan pa yun ng 10% because of the tax. So, nasa, sabihin natin, 7%. 0.7%. Diba? Sobrang liit lang nun. Yes, it's still something, but hindi siya ganun kalaking tulong sa pagdagdag sa iyong capital. And in my opinion, mas okay na mas malaki yung madagdag na capital sa every single year. Kasi that's extra income. So, for example, may emergency ka na kailangan gastusin or kailangan bayaran, then pwedeng dun manggaling. Hindi mo kailangang ibenta yung position mo dun sa dividend stock na yun. So yeah, I think that will conclude the episode. And if you liked my content, well, bigyan nyo ng thumbs up. And if hindi naman, then thumbs down nyo yung video. And if you're new to the channel, click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell para wala kayong ma-miss out sa mga uploads ko every single day. Again guys, I'm trying my best to upload every single day. And yeah, I will keep that promise. I will try my best. You can also follow me sa mga social media platforms ko. I'm on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at emanpsph. Again, guys, thanks for watching and listening to this episode. Stay safe out there and always remember, be Peso smart.